DocTalk is brought to you by Multimin USA, manufacturers of Multimin 90, Sure Trace Mineral Supplementation by Timed Injection.
Hi there and welcome to DocTalk. I'm Dr. Dan Thompson from Kansas State University, and I'm sure glad you joined us once again today. This is going to be the second of a two-part series with low-stress cattle handling with Dr. Tom Knopfsinger. Today we're going to talk about dealing with those mama cows and their babies. Sure glad you joined us, and stay tuned.
I give Multimin 90 every 120 days. The reason I give it every 120 days is because it seems to keep those cattle fresher. But you can notice a great difference in those cattle from the first day you give it to the last day you give it. When I run them through the chute and I give them a shot of that Multimin 90, I know exactly what I'm giving them. It's just more economical as a whole on the bucking bull side of the business. The simplicity of Multimin 90 is, just like I said, I know what I'm giving them and when I give it to them.
Closed caption brought to you by AgriLabs, the perfect pairing of performance and value. This segment is brought to you by Rotomix, manufactured in the USA and designed for feeding performance in the feedlots, beef production, dairy, and cow-calf operations. Hi there, folks, and welcome to DocTalk today. Welcome back, Dr. Tom.
It's good to be here, Dr. Dan. It's a pleasure.
Well, it's my honor to have Dr. Tom Knopfsinger join us once again on this show, and I hope to have him back many, many more times. And Dr. Tom is a member, a veterinarian, and a member of the group called PAC, Production Animal Consultation. And Dr. Tom, Production Animal Consultation consults cows, feedlots, dairies, swine, international.
It's an exciting group of veterinarians, Dr. Dan. We're centered mostly in Colorado, Nebraska, Kansas. One of our most important members is in Queensland, Australia.
Oh, yes.
We have a swine consultant from Illinois. It's an exciting group of people to learn from.
Something that you ought to search for on the web. All producers, practitioners, look for Production Animal Consultation. You have a website now and newsletter, and
we've got a website, and we'd be happy. We want to continue to use that as a vehicle to communicate with people. Well,
I think it's just great, and it's always an honor whenever a person gets to interact with you and the group. It's doing a lot of good things for a lot of animals and a lot of producers.
It's a pleasure to be here. It really is.
So we're going to talk about the interaction of the mama cow and the baby, and how we try not to screw that up.
Dr. Dan, I think we all agree that conception and birth is a true miracle. I think we take so many things for granted. So when we have a healthy, happy baby born, it's our responsibility to impact and empower that mother and let her take care of that baby. I don't think we as humans will ever understand all that happens between a mother cow and a baby calf, but we know some things are important. Passive transfer. We know that getting colostrum is very important. We know getting that animal to bond is so important. Teaching that calf to stay at her side is important. Teaching that mother to stay by the calf's side is important. So there's a few things, though, that we can interrupt and create negative situations. So I guess at the end of the day, we want to try to build that mother-baby bond and impact passive transfer. Yeah,
and I think that my grandpa was a veterinarian, and he used to say that the animal's going to get along about 90% of the time, despite what you do for it, and sometimes we try to do too much.
Absolutely. One of the things we've got to work with within this industry is that the dystocia rates have gone completely down.
Yep.
When I graduated a long time ago, the first few years I was in mixed practice, we did literally hundreds of cesareans every spring. And dystocia is not as big a deal because of our better management practices. Now we can spend time impacting the relationships.
It's great stuff. When we come back, we're going to continue with Dr. Knopfsinger. We're going to get some video footage out, take a look at a few things of interacting with the mama cow and the baby. You're watching DocTalk, and we're sure glad you joined us.
This segment was brought to you by Brute Cattle Equipment, makers of the Brute Stealth Hydraulic Chute. If the chute fits, swear by it. Visit our website for more information. Beef producers need a practical choice when antibiotic therapy is required. More than ever, they are reaching for non-prescription Noromycin 300 LA from Norbrook, specially formulated to produce sustained antibiotic blood levels up to 4 days in cattle. Noromycin 300 LA delivers economic, broad-spectrum disease management for pneumonia, shipping fever, pink eye, wound infections, and foot rot. See for yourself why Norbrook's Noromycin 300 LA is the practical choice for your herd.
Dr. Dan here. Whether I'm driving up and down the roads covering the state of Kansas, or I'm getting between Riley and Manhattan for my job, I'm driving a Ford truck. I'd like you to come out and visit my friends here at Dick Edwards Ford. They have a truck that'll suit your needs, whether you're looking for power with a Power Stroke diesel, or if you're looking for fuel efficiency with the new EcoBoost engine, they got a truck that's just right for you. They're located 2 miles east of the Town Center Mall in Manhattan, Kansas, and they'll bend over backwards to help you. And I'll see you down the road.
This hog is Hanover hoof for meal made from U.S. soybeans. Now, one hog isn't that impressive, but suppose we add another, and another, and another. Before long, you've got billions of hungry customers around the world all clamoring for the same thing. Our soybeans. Learn more about the billion-dollar appetite of animal agriculture at BeyondTheElevator.com. Brought to you by America's soybean farmers and their checkoff.
Got cattle? Rotomix manufactures a complete line of energy-efficient rotary and vertical feed mixers for feedlots, beef production, dairy, and cow-calf operations. Our mixers are available with the patented Generation 2 staggered rotor, the industry standard for feeding wet rations that include wet distiller's grain. Made in the USA, Rotomix mixers are designed for feeding performance that American cattlemen and dairy producers have come to expect. Rotomix, proud to offer a better mix in less time using less fuel.
Valley Vet Supply is devoted to providing information and professional quality products at reasonable prices.
ValleyVet.com, ValleyVet.com, Valley Vet Supply.
This segment is brought to you by Norbrook Laboratories, manufacturers of Normycin LA, Normectin Plus, 1% and Poron, the practical choice for your herd. Hi there, folks, and welcome back to DocTalk. Dr. Dan Thompson from Kansas State University, joined by Dr. Tom Knopfsinger, who's a veterinarian with the veterinary group Production Animal Consultation, or PAC, which is an incredible group of veterinarians that is serving animal agriculture internationally. And Dr. Tom, we're talking about kind of that interaction between the caregiver, the cow, and her calf, and you have a video you want to share with us.
Dr. Dan, we talked about working zone and position and building expectations within our animals.
Yep.
And so, yeah, I'd like to share this with you if I could.
You bet.
The thing that is new to me is that we should have the confidence to know that we can increase the frequency of nursing, and we should exhibit confidence in our mothers and babies. This is a cow that's had this baby. This baby's 3 days old, and she was very, very aggressive the first 2 days of life. When we're out here tagging and working with these young babies, we have to make sure we have the confidence of the mother, because you can get injured. So at this point, I had worked with this mother and baby from about 120 yards. I wanted to check the baby's navel, so I needed to get a hold of it. But I got too close to the calf, and the mother could not stand that. I was deep within her working zone, so she took off. Never tolerate cows leaving their babies. I stopped her with parallel motion and looked down when she stopped. Now she remembers the most important thing. As I go back to ask the little calf to catch me, I noticed that the mother and baby there in the center are too far apart. That calf's 4 or 5 days old. That mother should be next to her baby. So I asked the two to get closer together and stay there.
And that's for protection.
That's so that, yes, they never lose track. Here's a baby that's 8 hours old that should be nursing again. So I asked that baby, when I'm here, I expect you to be nursing. You need to be getting healthy and full. That puts me in the position to approach the new baby from the front, the baby that I'd like to interact with. Rather than chasing these calves, teach the calves to chase you. Go from the front, ask him to move, walk with him and stop him, and then go from one eye to the other, and he'll try to find you, and he wants to see you more clearly, and they'll walk up to you. Once they get close enough to touch, just rub on them. Don't try to throw them down. Just rub until the muscles in the back relax, and then you can more easily lay them down. This is what we expect. anticipate this mother wanting to see the baby, encourage that. That's really an important responsibility of that mother. Desensitize the calf before you tag that ear. Don't just tag it. Make sure that the mother is allowed to see that both ends of the baby are there. The important part of this process is to keep the calf's confidence. That confidence of that baby with you will spread to the mother and you'll be safe. Important is don't let the baby run back to its mother. Tell it thank you, rub on it, and when you allow that baby to reunite, watch this mother thank you by licking her brain there.
Every time I see it, what a powerful video and what an incredible teaching tool, and thank you for what you do. We're going to have to take a break, but when we come back, we're going to talk a little bit more about the impacts of some of these practices and what they have on the production and output and health.
The start of life is important.
You're watching DocTalk, and we're sure glad you joined us.
Getting ready to work cattle for pre-breeding and calf vaccinations? There's no better time to use a safe, modified live virus vaccine to prevent BRD. Titanium provides the correct equation for BRD with its excellent safety profile and a strong response and long duration of immunity. Ask your veterinarian about modified live virus vaccines and the 8 convenient combinations of titanium for the perfect pairing of performance and value.
Hi, I'm Kevin Ochsner, host of NCBA's Cattleman to Cattleman and Colorado Rancher. Join me each week as the National Cattlemen's Beef Association brings you the latest updates in industry information and market news. Plus, each week we provide important educational information and features on cattlemen from across the country just like you. And we can't forget our favorite cowboy poet, Baxter Black. Join me for NCBA's Cattleman to Cattleman, debuting Tuesday nights at 8:30 Eastern, right here on RFD TV.
American innovation is being driven in places you might not expect by people like Brent Hayek, an Oklahoma family farmer, who recently set a world land speed record in a Ford Super Duty pickup truck powered by renewable B20 biodiesel. Advanced performance is here, now, putting America on the fast track to more jobs and energy independence. Biodiesel, America's advanced biofuel.
Jason Lewis. I work here on Division Ranch, north of Strong City, Kansas. We run 500 head of mama cows. We started using multi-min about a year ago. We didn't have any problem with health that year. Didn't have to doctor near as many in that pasture. Just the overall appearance was a lot better. And I liked it so well, we'll start using it on everything.
This segment is brought to you by Lalaman Animal Nutrition, dedicated to the development and production of natural and differential solutions for animal nutrition.
Hi there, folks. Welcome back to DocTalk. Dr. Dan Thompson with Dr. Tom Knopfsinger. Dr. Knopfsinger is a veterinarian from Binkelman, Nebraska, who travels the world talking to people about veterinary practice, about beef production, about low-stress cattle handling, and him and his group, the production animal consultants, are making huge strides. And Dr. Tom, one of the things I always take home from your seminars is when we decrease stress, when we allow the animal to relax in its environment and natural state with the human-animal interaction, we can alleviate health issues. The negative impact of stress on health and the negative impact of stress on normal function is something that we need to strive to reduce.
I think that's a great point, Dan. About the only thing I can remember from veterinary school was do no harm.
Yep.
And so, you know what, we have to be careful that we don't interrupt normal, natural things.
And you have a video that kind of shows, you know, some different videos we're going to click to here. But let's take a look at that video of the cow herd that you were having some issues health-wise, and then you started introducing practices towards the heifers.
The history in this herd, Dan, was that if you arrived at this ranch halfway through calving season, you would see in the middle of the day, you would see lots of babies laying around a windmill with no mothers. Maybe 150 calves with just 3 heifers babysitting them. Today, this is the worst mother in the herd. She's 10 feet from her baby. That's not acceptable. This is the behavior we expect when we train replacement heifers, when we train our handlers to move through the calving ground correctly, when we train our handlers to do exercise pairing. Look at that. There's a heifer calf snuggling her mother, and her boy cousin down there would never touch his mother. It's really, really fun to watch this normal behavior. But this is an amazing change in a herd that has really helped the efficacy of our enterotoxemia vaccine and our prevention for perforated ulcers. When we saw the other type of behavior, 3 to 6% of these little guys would die prior to 8 weeks of age because of enterotoxemia or ulcers. At this point, we vaccinate minimally, and the enterotoxemia and perforated ulcer syndrome is almost non-existent in this herd.
It's absolutely amazing what you're able to accomplish. Let's take a look at the the one thing that we that we've talked about in many of the times is we've talked about the impact of stress. When we have stress, we increase adrenaline, which can decrease the release of oxytocin. And if we don't have that oxytocin released, we just have a terrible time of colostrum up to intake.
The hormones that are necessary to keep our banker and our production people happy are oxytocin. This is normal colostrum. That animal is willing to give the colostrum to that baby in a very, very powerful, voluntary fashion. When animals are stressed, we have adrenaline and endogenous steroids, and they relieve or remove oxytocin and vasopressin.
Reduce stress, increase colostrum intake, increase healthy calves. You're watching Doc Talk. We'll come back with a wrap-up with Dr. Knopfsinger here in a minute.
This segment is brought to you by the Beef Quality Assurance Program and the Kansas Beef Council, improving animal care and beef safety for more than 20 years.
With Ag AM in Kansas, I'm Devin Stewart. One of the speakers there, K-State beef veterinarian Larry Hollis, is advising pasture managers to be thinking through not only the water situation, which means both quantity and quality, but the potential for unwanted plant consumption by those grazing cattle as well.
What may have been diluted out in past years, and so that it's not harmful to animals, may be concentrating, in fact is concentrating, as these ponds draw down as the water sources go lower. And so we get into problems that it starts, again, hurting animal performance initially, but it can get to the point of being toxic to the animals and cause health problems or death losses. So we have to be aware.
With Ag AM in Kansas, I'm Devin Stewart.
Cow-calf, stocker, and feedlot producers know that effective parasite control improves overall herd performance and profitability. Norbrook offers a comprehensive, economical line of pour-on and injectable parasiticides for every livestock operation. Consult with your local animal health supplier to set up a program that protects your investment and brings larger cattle checks this fall. See for yourself why the Noromectin line from Norbrook is the practical choice for your herd.
The Kansas State University College of Veterinary Medicine is a leader in food animal research and education. Our researchers are constantly expanding the knowledge of animal health and food safety. Through the Veterinary Health Center and the Kansas State Veterinary Diagnostic Lab, we provide practical services for animal producers. Home of the Beef Cattle Institute, the college is committed to animal welfare training and research. The Kansas State University College of Veterinary Medicine, knowledge and service for the future of animal production.
Got cattle? Rotomix manufactures a complete line of energy-efficient rotary and vertical feed mixers for feedlots, beef production, dairy, and cow-calf operations. Our mixers are available with the patented Generation 2 staggered rotor, the industry standard for feeding wet rations that include wet distiller's grain. Made in the USA, Rotomix mixers are designed for feeding performance that American cattlemen and dairy producers have come to expect. Rotomix, proud to offer a better mix in less time using less fuel.
This segment is brought to you by Purple Wave Auction, the easiest, most straightforward way to sell used equipment. Purple Wave, straight, simple, sold. Welcome back to Doc Talk. I'm Dr. Dan Thompson, and I've been joined for the last two shows by Dr. Tom Knopfsinger. And Dr. Knopfsinger is a veterinarian from Benkelman, Nebraska. He travels internationally talking about stockmanship principles, about veterinary medicine, anywhere from endocrinology to animal handling, and you're a special person that has done so much for our industry and so much for veterinary medicine. Sure appreciate you being here, and I know that you have a passion for the people.
Oh, Dan, this is the most exciting part of my career. It's just amazing to be able to interact with people on ranches and farms and backgrounding yards and feedlots. It's truly amazing. And if you get to go work with some of these young animals and their mothers and watch the families and the people on ranches and farms, it becomes very clear to you that these are heroes in action.
Right.
It's just amazing.
Yeah, these people are, you know, they definitely put their animals first.
There are people that do what needs to be done no matter what the weather's like. They do what needs to be done in the interest of the animals.
Don't get a day off.
No, no. Every day's Saturday to them.
Right.
No, it's a great, and to be able to learn to apply some science and some veterinary medicine and stockmanship to make a difference for those peoples and most importantly, I'm blessed with the opportunity to learn from them every day.
Yeah, that's why I think that the fun part of our jobs as veterinarians is how many people how many things we learned outside a book.
That's right.
From so many different people. Every operation does something a little bit better than another operation, and to be able to be a person that could be the conduit to share.
And it's and many of these people are very skillful at doing their jobs, and yet it's a little bit hard for them to verbalize exactly to mortals like me what they're actually doing. But that seems to be the way to get them to be better. If you ask them to think about what they're doing and explain to you what they're doing and why, then you have a grounds for discussion for improvement.
Yeah, you learn very little from a lecture. You learn more from being shown, but you learn the most from teaching.
I wonder if that's why God gave us 2 of these and 1 of these.
I think so. Listen twice as much and talk half as much.
It's a really good thing. And as we watch the capability, the stockmanship and handling things are really important in the feed yard. But when you're blessed to have some impact on the animal from conception to harvest, it's just amazing what some of these people accomplish.
Well, you're one of these people, and I'm sure glad to have you on the show. Thank you.
It's an honor to be here. Yeah.
If you want to know more about Dr. Knopfsinger, you can go to the website for Production Animal Consultants and learn more about their veterinary group. If you want to learn more about what I do here at K-State, find us on the web at www.vet.ksu.edu. Remember, always work with your local practitioner. I'm Dr. Dan Thompson, here from the College of Veterinary Medicine at Kansas State University. You've been watching DocTalk. We're sure glad you joined us, and I'll see you down the road. Closed caption brought to you by AgriLabs, the perfect pairing of performance and value.
DocTalk, produced in cooperation with Drovers Cattle Network and Bovine Veterinarian. For more information about this program or previous programs, go to DocTalkTV.com. DocTalk was brought to you by Multimin USA, manufacturers of Multimin 90, sure trace mineral supplementation by timed injection.
The Kansas State University cow-calf herd has to be run as a business. We have to have positive cash flow in order to exist. So treatment costs are important to us. Multimin 90 was applied to the cows 107 days before the first predicted calving date, and then again approximately 30 days before the anticipated start of the breeding season. In our study, treatment costs with Multimin 90 costs an additional $6.40 per cow. That included both injections. Now, a question a producer might ask is how much extra performance on a cow or a calf do I need to capture to pay for that $6.40? Well, historically, the value of gain in a calf has been worth right around 65 cents a pound. If a calf is born approximately 5 days earlier, it will be 10 pounds heavier at weaning time. Now in our study, with the shift in calving distribution that we saw farther forward in the season, in other words, we had a greater proportion of calves born early in the season in treated females as opposed to untreated females, we would have more than captured the value of the product that we applied. In our study, 77% of the treated females gave birth in the first 20 days of the calving season. Untreated females, only 64% of the animals gave birth in the first 20 days of the season. In other words, we had 13% more calves born early in the season. The opportunity for them to be heavier at weaning was greater among the treated females simply because those calves were older. Their mothers conceived earlier, they gave birth earlier. For every day that a calf spends suckling its mother, it's going to gain about 2.2 pounds. In causing those calves to be born earlier in the year, they would have had greater opportunity to accrue body weight prior to weaning time.